I remember when I first heard about Team Premier back in December of last year. At the end of the year party for our demo team, Mr. Evan came out and said, Master Hensley is talking about starting up a tournament team.
An international team with all different Premier schools. So at first I was pretty interested in doing that, and I was waiting to see who they were going to pick from the Staffos.
That got me really excited, and he said there was going to be like a certain group of kids that were going to be on it and a certain group of kids that weren't.
Most of the people who weren't on teams really didn't place that well versus the people who were on teams.
Me and my mom were in the car one day, and I was just like, I forget what we were talking about. We were talking about something, but she just brought it up. Like, I wasn't asked yet, and she said something about Team Premier, and I was like, what? And she was like, oh yeah, Team Premier or something. I was like, and she goes, oh, did I not tell you you're on Team Premier? I was like, oh, thanks, Mom. I'm always the last one to hear about stuff in my family.
Mr. Evans sent me a message on Facebook asking me to come in 20 minutes or so early to class so he could talk to me about something. Honestly, I got kind of scared. I thought maybe I did something wrong. I came in and he told me that, I was selected to be part of Team Premier.
I was helping the little kids in class before teens class, and I was holding a bag, and all of a sudden he just comes over and whispers in my ear that I'm on Team Premier.
Mr. Evan had texted me one day and asked if I was coming to class. And I was like, yeah, of course, why? And he said, oh, well, I have to tell you something really important. And at first I was like, oh, well, what is it? Can you say it over text? He was like, no, it's really, really important. So I was kind of freaked out because he wouldn't tell me what it was about. So naturally I'd just be like, oh, maybe I'm in trouble or something. But when I got to class that day, he pulled me aside and said that he and Mrs. D had chosen me to be part of Team Premier, which is so cool.
But overall, I was super excited that I was finally on a team.
I know I'm treating you guys at a very mature level, at a level where usually I would work with 18 and up adults who can handle this type of training, but I believe you're all good enough to handle this type of training. And I believe you've earned it.
You are.
Okay? You've earned the right to be treated like I expect you to be great. Go. Up. Walk strong again.
What you need to do is think about taking, like you did that whole thing at like one speed really fast, no pauses.
Right.
So that amount of energy, you need to condense it down and put it into each combo.
Just like show the side kick rechamber a little more. It's kind of like this.
Okay.
Mr. Evan messaged Natalie and I on Facebook, and he was like, oh, you guys would be perfect for for Team Sync partners, and you guys would do really well, you guys would slay.
We started making tweaks, like different mirror effects and stuff like that to make it look really, really cool. We're thinking we need something that is more interactive, played around with this one combo with a hurricane kick and a spin and a dip and stuff. So we tried it out and we put it in the thing.
It's like a really old house that they take it and they make it like really new, like this home modeling shows. That's what my musical form is. At the US Open was my first tournament debuting it, and I got 9th out of 20 something kids, and I thought that was pretty good for my first tournament debut.
I dropped on double bow, and it's on the same move every time. I think it has something to do with the adrenaline. I get pumped up. I don't really get nervous at tournaments, but I definitely get adrenaline flowing. I get really excited. I think I might speed up a little bit so I don't quite catch the bow before I go on to the next move. Because of that, I'm switching to single bow for the next tournaments, Capital Classics, and probably next tournament season as well. I think I jumped in a little too deep with it being my first tournament season.
I got 3rd place in musical form, musical weapons. Yes! Yes! Yes!
I got like 9th place out of 30-ish. So I mean, I beat some people, but I didn't place in the NASCA divisions. I didn't get any points. I got like right there, almost placing, but not placing. I couldn't have like pushed it a couple, like 2 or 3 points higher and placed.
This goes out to my music lovers, so tune in and listen to my Universal brothers. We getting down, motivate, positive intention. We put it all on one drums all across the nation. So proceed and exceed and just let it all out. Without a doubt, we're gonna show you what it's all about.
I didn't place as well as I hoped. I only placed in 2 of my divisions. I placed in creative weapons and musical weapons. I don't think my judges liked me very much. I don't really know why. I just don't think they didn't really like my style that I did.
My sword form. I felt I did very good at the US Open, but I feel like my sword form isn't where it needs to be for first place. I think I need to add more complicated moves and combos, like throws and stuff, because I only have one throw in it so far.
Yo, it's infamous, the people shall remember this. Cat on the track, keeping you spinning like a record is. My wisdom is infinitely gold. I keep my soul shining while you blink and roll. Some wait in line, I jump up and take chances. I'm used to side glances and mean mugging. I'm used to your girl seeing me and bugging. I mean, really, it's so funny. I score the hottest of hotties, though I've got no money. And I'm honest about it, man, I'm up front. While you carry on non-stop, keeping up a front. Why? I'm not hating even though I'm dissing. Hey, you do as you do, you don't need my permission. I didn't come out to start up a fight, nah, I just came out to party tonight. Yeah, 200 techniques. Feel it all over. Music gives your soul sensation. If you let it take over.
I didn't place at all. It doesn't really upset me that I didn't place at all. There's massive divisions of, US Open, my creative weapons division was 32 people, which is insane. I don't really get upset at how I place at these tournaments. There's a lot of people that have been doing it for longer than me. This is my first season doing it. So it's more of a learning experience to me. I remember after I did my musical form at US Open, I was really tired. I went off to the side and had a seat in the audience with, my mom and everyone there. And Miss Megan comes up to me. I'm hobbled over, out of breath, breathing heavy. Miss Megan comes up to me and is like, Matt, you did amazing, don't be upset. And I looked up at her and I said, Miss Megan, I'm not upset, I'm just really out of shape. I don't get upset. I don't let it get me down, when I don't do the best.
So on the NASCA circuit, I've been placing maybe 6th, 7th, 8th place, maybe even 5th sometimes. But since I've been competing for almost half my life, I'm used to being in the top 3, usually the top 2. So not getting in the top 3, it's almost unusual to me. It's not like me. I don't know if I want to continue competing on the NASCA circuit with Team Premier. I don't know if I can match that level of the NASCA competitors anymore. I don't know if I've just been competing too long and it's past my time. So I am not sure if I will want to continue competing on the circuit or just do some small local tournaments next year.